And we're on. Welcome back to the Sly Squad Spills podcast. I'm here with my sister and co-host Jackie Wildflower.
Jackie Wildflower.
I know that that's not your name, but wouldn't it be cool if it was?
It would be cool, but I gotta have my own name. I don't know. We'll figure something out that's like they blend, you know?
It would feel like a little bit of like a Jessica Simpson, Ashley Simpson situation if we did that, right?
Yeah,
I know.
I would say so, yeah. 100%.
Living in the shadows of someone else's dreams.
Come on, girl.
What?
I'm not living in the shadows.
No, but I'm saying I don't want it to feel like that. I know you're not living in the shadows. No. So, all right. Anyway, so we were gone for like quite, we came into this and we had the intention of like, we're going to film every single week because that's just what's going to happen. And then something super weird happened in the way that our dad kind of like croaked. Yeah. Not to get weird, but yeah, so that happened September 7th. I know that in the last podcast, and I don't want to get like dark or weird because we've done a lot of healing around this, but and that's not really what today's going to be about, but we can't just like not address it at the same time. So, I know that in the last podcast we had talked, we briefly brought up the fact that our dad has early onset Alzheimer's, and we were like, oh, we'll talk about that at a later time, not thinking that like the next time we were going to film, he actually wasn't going to be with us any longer. And I know that like I'm not crying, which may seem weird, but when I said that we've been doing a lot of healing and inner work, it's been a month and like 5 days now, but who's counting? A month and 4 days, something like that. Let's talk a little bit about that experience, just because I think it'll be helpful for people, because one of the things that comes to me a lot, like people will say, I know that you are consistent, but what do you do when you don't feel motivated? And basically, like, I was sitting in the middle of a leadership meeting, like with my team, when I got the phone call that, my dad was going into the hospital, right, from his memory care. And the first thing that happened was that I'm like, I don't care about any of this anymore.
Yeah.
And I just ran there. And then it was followed by like pretty much 2 weeks of absolute
like
chaos.
Yeah,
and
chaos
bad.
and yeah, really tough. Couple of 2 weeks for sure.
Hospice, the whole nine. I probably should have put a trigger warning. No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little. Yeah, so a little bit of a trigger warning here. I don't think we're going to go into like super detail about it, but if you do feel drawn to not continue listening or watching, then here's your trigger warning right here. You can go on, Nick.
Okay. So, and none of this seemed to matter anymore. I was like, forget this, the whole career, everything. I'm like, it doesn't matter in this moment. The only thing that matters is him and my family, right? So with that being said, you don't feel motivated all the time. I tell people that, but I was prepared in the sense that I'm so consistent that I had like miles and miles long of stuff that I had already prepared, because I show up for myself every single day when I, even when I don't feel like it. And then at a time like this, I was able to just completely walk away. And things didn't go amazing when I walked away, but like, and we'll talk about that later too. But I would not trade that time for the world. And Jackie, who lives in Colorado, flew in from there to New York and was here for like 3 weeks. So I want to give you a chance to talk too. So.
Yeah, no. So when he did go into the hospital, of course you called me and told me, and I was still here in Colorado. And by the time that he was being switched over to hospice, or that decision was like being made, Nikki called me. I was actually teaching a class to our Sly Squad clients. It was like a Tuesday. I could remember it clear as day.
Wasn't it a mindset class?
It was. I was teaching a mindset class. It was like an amazing class.
You said everybody amazing vibes. And then I'm like, Dad's dying, so I'm on a fly home.
No, I walk out of the room from teaching that class. And like I said, it was an amazing class. Honestly, one of the best ones I've ever taught. But I walk out of the room and Joe's like, hey, Nikki's about to call you. I'm like, okay. Like, even though I knew Dad was in the hospital and things were like happening really quickly, I was like, why didn't she just call me then? Like, what's up? But anyway, Michelle, Nikki's assistant, booked me a flight, and I got there that night, actually. So I flew in that day, and yeah, we spent like day in and day out together during that whole process. And I feel like just there were a lot of like revelations through it. Like Nikki said, work kind of didn't feel like as important in that moment. And I think it was just really eye-opening for us to get that time and recognize like what feels, like our priorities, and like that actually, all said and done, that work is one of those priorities, and so is family. So it helped, like, for me anyway, put like balance into perspective, spending more time with the people that we love. And we get to do that every day because we work together, but we have other really amazing family members and friends that maybe we weren't spending as much time with. So yeah, I just feel like the whole experience, while it was tough, it was like eye-opening and beautiful in a way.
In a way it was, yeah. There were a lot of silver linings, I would say.
100%.
One of them being that he was absolutely suffering. So, like, obviously this had to happen. We've known that this was going to happen. It kind of happened suddenly, even though we were prepared. And you never are prepared for the actual, like, slay that happens when this actually happens, even though you've been pre-grieving for, like, so many years. Anticipatory grief, they call it. But, I've been going through... Listen, like, I fully just acknowledged what I was feeling. I let myself feel the grief, and I was like, I'm immediately going to therapy. Immediately, I need this. This is what's happening in my brain is not maybe amazing. And because I have had like so many mental health issues in the past, I was like, let me just like immediately dial a therapist and just jump right in there just before it gets bad. And that's been amazing. And then I started doing, you want to get me started with the freaking breath work thing?
Oh my gosh. Nikki's got a new obsession.
Listen, when she obsesses hard. But I tried breath work. No. So let me just tell you something first. It's not like I'm going to go get certified in it or anything. Wink, wink. No, I totally am. Okay, so somebody was like, you got to try this breathwork coach. And I never really thought anything of it, even though they like ranted and raved and ranted and the whole nine. And I was like, okay, well, but then when I wasn't feeling good, like when I was really down, I was like, all right, I think maybe I'm going to try that. And I was like, immediate, yes. This is life-changing. I'm going to do it every day. It's incredible. So that's been like so healing as well.
After her first session, she was like she called me to talk to me about it. I'm like, oh no, she's in a breathwork rabbit hole. Like she's never going to.
She's doing the Nikki.
Which is great because through that, I mean, I've been teaching yoga and doing massage for years, like over a decade. And I'm familiar with breathwork, but not that kind. I knew that it existed, but like totally didn't realize what you were doing in your breathwork sessions. So it inspired me to go do one of those breathwork sessions, and damn.
Well, I didn't know what was going to happen either. I'm like, so you want me to pay somebody to just sit there and breathe with them? Like, you think this is going to be a profound experience for me? That was my initial thought. And then I didn't know that like my body was going to go numb and like I was going to have these profound moments of clarity and that it was going to be this whole thing that was going to regulate my entire nervous system. Who knew that was going to happen? So, and like you've been in the wellness world for a while. That's like not my thing. No. It wasn't my thing.
I've always tried to pull you in. I'm like, come get a massage. Come take a yoga class. The yoga class I made you take, you were like, oh, I'm not a fan. Back in the day, like probably 10 years ago, you were like,
this is not for me. It's weird going to yoga when you can't reach past your knees. I mean, I know everyone's like, you need yoga because you can't reach past your knees, but nobody else in the class is having that issue. Not that I'm like looking around for comparison, but I don't see anybody else like not able to go past their knees.
Right.
There's something, I don't know. I was born like that. I can't, easy to say, but okay. So anyway.
Nonetheless, now we are breathwork kind of, well, not me so much. I've only had one session, but Nikki is that of a breathwork connoisseur, maybe almost soon.
I wouldn't say that, but I will be. I promise.
Almost. Yeah.
You don't even know what's coming for you, all of you. And then now I've got like half the team doing it, like, but I didn't mean to. Like, I was just like, this is what I'm doing. And people see the difference in me and they're like, well, I'm going to try it too. And then they do. And then they go down the rabbit hole. And now everyone's like, should we just all go together and get certified? And I'm like, did I just create some form of a cult?
It already exists. It's not, you're just like bringing more people
No,
into
I
it.
mean like an internal cult.
Oh, yeah, probably. But we do that a lot.
Yeah, I don't mean to. I feel very passionately about the things that I feel very passionately about. Just like I tell everybody to take a cold shower in the morning, and I'm not going to jump off that high horse anytime soon. I'm like 5 a.m. club, drink water, let's go.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Flow state, breathe it out, meditate. Let's slay the day. But with that being said, here's what happens. So sometimes in the business world, and this applies to hairstylists, this applies to us in the consulting world, the coaching world, any business owner, whatever that may be, this is relevant for. Sometimes when you have a bad month, and we had a bad month in September, both fiscally and like for the company as a whole. Granted, we were gone for half of September because our dad was going through that, and mentally, right? Like everybody was like impacted, and it was just a really, really weird energy. And when you start coming from this place of like scarcity and fear and like what's going to happen, and you stop coming from a place of like genuinely empowering people and showing up to like give value to people without expectation attached to it, and just like having effing fun. Like you should be having a good time. This shouldn't suck. Like being a business owner shouldn't suck. It should be fun. And it's weird how when we shifted that mentality, things already have like started to completely turn around. Like we got the whole team on that same wavelength.
Yeah. That's like another thing that I think was really eye-opening was like we got back after us taking all of that time off, and the more like the morale was different, like the vibes were off, and everyone was overwhelmed, and like it didn't feel fun as much. I mean, everyone on our team's passionate about what they do, and at a certain point it just stopped. It was overwhelming for everyone, and it was so eye-opening for us. Like I think we had two choices in that moment, right? Like come back and be like, let's close the business down. Let's quit on our worst day. I'm done. We're moving to Cancun. We're out. Or, okay, let's use this as an opportunity to grow. And how can we make it better for ourselves and everyone around us, and, our team, our clients, the same. And we did that. We went with B, which is great. It has only been like a month since we've been back, and things have been feeling, since we've like really took action on that, like breakdown, if you will. Breakdowns are opportunities for breakthroughs. One of my mentors always says that. And we took action on it, and we just made things better. We put more systems into place. We make sure everyone's practicing self-care and work-life balance. And now shit's popping. Like in the way of everyone is in such a good freaking headspace. The vibes are, Nikki always says, we can't operate on just vibes. And it's like, that's true, but at least 50% vibes.
It's so funny because the team that we had a meeting this morning, and somebody on the team was like, Nikki, I know that you say that we can't operate on vibes alone, but it feels like we are vibing.
We are vibing. It's true.
Because we all get so hype when our clients get amazing results, and when like we're all happy and everybody's thriving. And yeah, so now that we've been kind of like cultivating that mindset, so much has shifted. I keep adjusting myself. I'm sorry. I just don't know how I want to sit today. If you're seeing
cross legs, that's my vibe.
If you're YouTubing this, then you're going to see me doing that. If you are not, then
it doesn't matter. Irrelevant.
Then it's irrelevant information. Also, I'm so sorry. I just need to take a sip of water. I am drinking. My goal is to drink the entire gallon.
Before we started filming, she like whips out that gallon bottle and takes a sip, and my jaw dropped to the floor. I'm like, I just wasn't expecting that today at a time like this. The craziest thing I've ever. I know people do it all the time in like the workout world. I feel like they drink out of the gallon, but I've just never seen you drink out of a gallon bottle before.
I wish it wasn't like plastic, but we're not going to get into that right now. But anyways, yeah. So the moral of the story being, and every time that I start operating from a place of fear or lack or scarcity, I not only suffer internally, and so does the rest of the team, and so do my clients. But I also, when you're not coming from the right place, people sense that. And it's not like I ever know that I'm not coming from the right place, but it's a subconscious thing, right? But when you are coming from a place, so every time somebody freaks out, I don't have clients coming in my chair, like, I don't know how to market this and that. I'm like, you need to just re-enter a place of like, I'm here to give value to you and to empower you. When it comes to like, start having conversations with potential clients, you are not selling them. You are empowering them to make decisions that are most supportive to them. So whether that be with you or not, you are detached from the outcome. If you are there to genuinely empower somebody, then it should feel light. It shouldn't be hard. It should be fun. It should be like genuine connection. And if it's not, then it's okay to just move on. Okay. So like, that's what I want to, when you create your content, think, how can I help people? Not like, how can I get more people in my chair? How can I help as many people as possible in my target audience?
Right.
Your dogs are really just doing the most back there.
I'm so like removed from them, but they're two German Shepherd mixes and their barks are like deep and scary, even though they're the sweetest babies. So no matter if I wear headphones or not, or noise cancel, like they're going to be heard a little bit. And you know what? It's imperfect, but that's just what to expect a little bit of, okay? I don't want them to bark, but I can't help it.
It doesn't bother me. I was just making a comment. Just like I felt like it was something that I had to, I'm not going to not address it.
Yeah, we can address, yes. In the episode, oh, by the way, we never said, I will, like, I guess through all of the, just everything we went through, we want to work together. Like Nikki and I are such a great team, and so did we say that I'm going to be co-hosting the episodes? No.
I literally just said this is my co-host.
Oh, okay, gorgeous. In the first,
I mean, I don't think that I officially was like, okay, Jackie is now the co-host, but I did introduce you as my co-host.
Must have missed that. Probably disassociated for a second.
I think.
Yeah, you probably did. But anyway, since I will be co-hosting this podcast, you'll probably hear my dogs at least one time per each episode. And that's the reality of the situation. Yeah. I hope that you enjoy it, everyone who's listening.
I have toddlers. They're napping right now, but you never know if they're just going to like march in and do the most. So.
That's fair. I hope they do, honestly, for everyone's sake, because they're the cutest freaking babies in the world.
They're delightful.
They are. We're off track also. So,
but that's okay. I feel like I listen to podcasts and people do that, and that's okay. Like it's not, people don't come in here and think that they're not going to get something chaotic, but it's still, you're going to leave feeling better than when you came in. I'm pretty sure.
I would say so. You know, honestly, because the first episode, like all I could think of for the longest time, because like we filmed it and then like things started to unfold with Dad. And I was so afraid to listen to it because I recalled that we talked about, like we briefly mentioned that he was sick. And I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to it. I just don't want to hear what we said in that moment, like whatever. And then last night I'm like, okay, we're filming episode 2. Like I'm going to watch it or listen to it. I'm going to stop being, having a mental block around it. And it was a great episode. And honestly, we slay. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
I don't know if there was another point to that. I feel like maybe there was, but
so
you know
what I took away from that is that we slay. No, I haven't listened to the episode, not for that reason, just because, no people, I don't really care that much, but I just hear my own voice a lot. And I say this all the time. I'm not a huge talker in person. Like I talk way more on the internet than I do in real life. I'm more of an observer. Or actually like an but yeah, I'm either observing or I'm completely just like introspective in my own brain, like
la 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 la. That's what her face looks like. But in there, it's like wheels are like,
Oh yeah, it looks like la 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 la, but it's really just like, in the show The Good Doctor, when you could like see the little like math happening above his head. I think that's what it you. That's me.
When we were kids, we have a brother as well, and he would always joke with Nikki that like you could tell when she's really thinking, and he would say she can't. He's like, oh, Nikki must be thinking, because like someone would try to talk to her and she like wouldn't answer. He's like, oh, she must be, or she must be just trying to blink right now, like focusing on blinking or breathing, because she can't do all of them at the same time: breathing, blinking, thinking, and speaking.
Which Nobody can. That's the thing. I mean,
No,
yes,
you're right.
our bodies operate as a machine, but what I try to tell people is that you've got all these things in your brain, and this is why people get so overwhelmed. And this is a good segue, I think, because the one of the things I hear most is like, I just don't know how to make time for it all. And I'm like, okay, well, you have 45 things on your mind that you can't even like take the time to organize them without imploding. But nobody's a good multitasker. That doesn't exist. The human brain doesn't multitask. Okay, so anybody who says, or any job description that says must be a good multitasker, you need to walk away, because nobody could multitask. One task at a time, and break it down in a way that makes sense for you, and get into the flow, and actually schedule things in. I see this with hairstylists and business owners all the time, where they're like, they work so much inside of the business, like I'm just doing hair all day, this, that, and the other thing, and it's full chaos, that they don't actually think that working on the business to grow it is part of their day. So like, you need to set apart time. Will change your life when you schedule in time to work on things that are going to actually grow your business, and not just take it as a, oh, when I feel like it thing, right?
No, it's so true. 100%. And like there are so many resources that help with that. And, even if we provide them, sometimes that can just feel overwhelming. So like it's important to break things down. Like, okay, step one, I'm going to get the Trello board today. And that's the task. I got to get the Trello board. And then we're going to add the tasks at a different moment, right? Like one thing at a time. But yeah, it's all about prioritizing and like being intentional. Yeah, it is important for me to grow my business and not just work at my business. So when am I going to create time for that? Because it is very much a part of my schedule as much as anything, as much as doing hair or being behind the chair. 100%.
Right. So I'm like, schedule. People think it's like too rigid to actually schedule things in. But like, I have every task scheduled in, like just time blocked. And that is not how my brain operates. I have ADHD. I am not a naturally organized person. So this is very much against my nature. I have 48 tabs open at every single minute inside of my head. And this is the only way that I'm able to successfully operate as a CEO and a mom and a wife. And a leader. Like, I don't get it right all the time, but this is one thing that has been absolutely life-changing for me, is like just blocking things in and being able to break things down into small tasks, and then fully being present on those tasks in the times where they're blocked off. I set my little Pomodoro timer.
Like, I'm talking, when she says fully present, she means there's nothing happening in those headphones all day, but she's wearing them. Like when I was there for a couple of weeks, even if we decided to take a moment and like do a little bit of work, those headphones go on. There's no music in them. There's nothing happening. She's like, go away. That's her like go away symbol. Like, don't talk to me right now. These are on my head.
I distract easy.
Yeah, no, it's true. I get it. I have ADHD too. Mine's like mine presents a little differently, but because like I like to work in noisy spaces. I love a co-working space. I love to like go to a coffee shop and everyone is loud. It's almost like this like white noise and I can hone in. But no, Nikki literally is like, world off, me and this task on.
So sometimes I do have like binaural beats playing in here.
Oh, do you?
At 40 Hz, very, very low.
That's a surprise. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But not always. Sometimes it's just complete silence. I am really overstimulated by noises. In fact, I have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb right now because I'm getting hella text messages and they're very distracting.
I meant to remind you to do that in the beginning. That's okay.
My phone is always on Do Not Disturb. I'm so sorry to everybody, but my phone is always on Do Not Disturb. When I'm working on other stuff, I don't open up apps. I don't scroll through social media. Full focus. Like, you'd be surprised how much you can actually get done when you set a timer. Like, I use my little tomato timer, break everything down into tasks. I use my little Trello board. I use my Pomodoro timer, which is free on the internet. And 25 minutes, I just full focus on that. You could do anything.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. It's really, you actually, through like me witnessing you work and you get like providing those resources for clients and like our team, I started utilizing all of these tools and resources, and I've never had such a detail-oriented job before, ever. ever, 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 ever. And I always thought to myself, there's no way I could ever do that. There's no way I could ever, ever do that many like admin tasks. And it's just not true. Anyone could do anything. I can, and I'm actually really great at it now because I have all the correct resources. And Nikki taught me that. And a lot of our clients, like all of our clients, but the ones who also resonate, like they have ADHD, they can't figure out how to focus. Like they're free to the world, but they're like secrets. They're like hidden. It's not that easy to find things like the Pomodoro method. I mean, I guess if you really looked into it, but when you have ADHD so bad and you're so overwhelmed, you're not even going to go look for something like that.
No, but I am so hyper focused on efficiency and productivity, and I'm not always the most efficient at everything. Like I'm always finding ways, but it's not like when we help people to make more money in less time because their appointment times are shorter. It's not just that; it's their consultation times. It's like how they handle social media, how they handle all the admin tasks of their business. It is literally every aspect of their life related to work so that they can be fully present in the time that they're off and spend less hours working and more time
enjoying life
living. Well, I mean, not that working isn't living. We're very lucky to be in a career that we love, but I promise you, like if you let it absorb your entire being, you won't love it anymore.
No.
So
no one could love anything when they let it absorb their entire being. But the word that really would describe like what we do with clients is it's holistic. It really is like holistic. Every single piece, it's personal development so that business development can happen. It's pretty freaking
that too,
awesome.
because you got to do the inner work too. You got to be in the headspace for it. Nothing hurts my feelings more than when like somebody comes in and they're not in the right headspace.
And we're not therapists, but we do provide some pretty solid resources and some great mindset classes that can help. And then listen, still like therapy is still amazing. So we're not going to pretend that we're therapists. We're going to resource people, but we do really focus like 1/3 on that.
You got to shift your beliefs and your mindset and stuff like that in order for the other stuff to really prevail and make a difference. And when we don't get that part right with somebody, it's really upsetting. It's not that we're not getting it right. It's that they're not ready for it in this time. And without that piece, the other pieces don't work.
No, literally no. Mindset is like the thing. It's the foundation. And it needs to be continually worked on because innately, like we are human beings, right? We're going to revert back to our patterns. Like we're a product of our environment. And it's like, I call it like the spin cycle. When you get back into like an old pattern, you're like, why is this happening? So the spin cycle that happens is we naturally and adorably want to go back to those, I guess like thoughts and beliefs that we were raised with. And we have to be able to self-evaluate, find that self-awareness. Okay, I'm not showing up as the best version of myself that I've learned to, or like, I'm not correcting this behavior that I need to correct in order to grow. So mindset is like the foundation and it's the continual work. It can never stop. You have to keep doing it. And we noticed that right through the whole thing happening with Dad. Like mindset is constantly needing to be worked on, period.
Yeah.
For everyone.
I think that I'm so obsessed with personal growth that like it's almost like upsetting. It's borderline like overwhelming to my brain that like I just want to be like a better, more fulfilled version of myself and for me and for other people every single day. And then I'm like, okay, you don't have to like literally become Brene Brown overnight. You can just
Are you looking at me dropping my jaw?
Why are you dropping your jaw? What
because
happened?
I just looked to my left and it said, and I'm in Joe's office because again, the Wi-Fi wasn't working in my own. And it says every day in every way, I get better and better and better. And it was like very in line with what you were saying. So I dropped my jaw.
Oh, serendipity. I like that word. Serendipitous. I like to, I like to use the word serendipitous. It's also a movie and a restaurant in New York City where they have frozen hot chocolate.
So, wait, that doesn't make sense. That's an oxymoron. Frozen hot chocolate?
I'm not here to break apart why they named it that. It's pretty much just chocolate soup, but
okay.
Cold. Gazpacho. Chocolate gazpacho.
Oh, so it's not like blended up. It's not like a milk. Wait, is it like a milkshake?
Oh, girl, of course it is. No, it's literally hot chocolate, but it is frozen. So it's got like a little bit of like maybe like a shaved ice in it. And then it's just like the same texture as hot chocolate, not a milkshake.
Oh, so I wouldn't call it frozen. I would say it's just like cold chocolate
I
instead
mean,
of
it's
hot
not
chocolate.
my
Right, right,
restaurant.
right, 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 right. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's not my restaurant.
Slay. True.
Yeah.
So true. Where to now, Nikki Wildflower?
I want to talk about a little bit about because we all get so overwhelmed. So here's some of the things that these are some things that I've implemented into my daily routine. Now, I am not a regimented person in the slightest bit. You leave it up to me and like my little potato brain. And what's going to happen is I'm going to stay in bed until 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to overwhelm myself with all the stuff I have to get done. And then I'm going to do absolutely nothing because there's so much that I have to get done. This is like if I just let myself go to like my natural state. However, I am a much happier, more fulfilled person now that I have implemented habits and routines into my life. And this has been like a slow process. This is not something you do overnight because you won't stick with it if you just change everything overnight. You won't. You got to do it slowly but surely. But I wake up at 5 now. And like, I don't want to be that person that preaches waking up at 5 a.m., but
Not the hair
but
flip. She's like, like
unfortunately, I am a little that person because it works. There's a reason why people do it, but wake up at 5 a.m. and like sometimes because I also, I listen to Andrew Huberman and I listen to a lot of like betterment podcasts and all the books and all the like resources. And there's something I like to try to meditate first thing in the morning or do a little bit of breath work, but sometimes it's hard because it's dark out. So I bought to wake up when it's so dark out. So I ended up buying like a one of those lamps that emulates sun exposure because it's really important to have light exposure in the morning. Like the equivalent, like if you can't get actual sunlight, you need some form of light exposure, and it has to be like a certain amount of watts, I think. So
that's cool.
yeah. So I have that and I like sit with that. I like to do a cold shower. I drink so much water in the morning. You have to drink so much water to rehydrate your body. And I think, according to the science babes, that you're supposed to delay caffeine intake. I don't do that.
I'm like, oh crap.
But my whole day is scheduled for me. Like I know I'm waking up at 5 and I'm doing my thing, and then I know exactly what I'm going to work on, and I set my little timers and I do them, and you allow yourself breaks throughout the day. I also don't always do that, which is bad. Like my Pomodoro timer will go off, and on the 5 minutes I'm supposed to take a break.
You like snooze?
I'm like, later, I'm really in the middle of something right now, but it's there for a reason because our brains operate best in like 25-minute intervals, I think. I don't know the science behind that or if that's even factual information, but it's just in my readings, it seems accurate to me. I'm just not going to question that. It seems right.
Hey, I always tell people if it works, just go with it, man. Like if it works for you, just keep going.
Sometimes I'm not ready for like the breath work and meditation first thing in the morning, I find. Sometimes it's best for me just to jump in and like set my intention for the day, kind of visualize what that day is going to look like and get started. And then I'll come back to the breath work when the sun comes out because I like to do it in the sun.
Oh, you feel like the glow of the sunlight hitting you while you're doing this.
I'm like a dog. I lay on the floor. Like in my room where all the sunlight comes in, I bask in the sun, and then my dog comes and sits next to me, and I do my breath work with my headphones on, and my wife immediately leaves the room because she's like, "Oh, Nikki's on her weird stuff," but I'm just like, and then I do weird things with my hands. It's like a whole thing, but I feel so good after. Like as soon as we get off this, before I continue with the rest of my day,
you're gonna do breath work.
I'm going to do breath work. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I'll join you on that. Well, like we don't have to do it together, but I should do it too. Unless you want to.
Maybe we should.
How does that what's the logistics?
Why are my hands together like this? They don't need to be.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. I don't know how that's going to work, but sure. I'm down.
Well, you ever heard of you ever heard of Google Meet?
Yeah, but like oh my goodness. I forget you could screen share everything.
Imagine like every morning we do that. So
right.
At work. Yeah.
Yep,
anyways, so
you set yourself up for success. I feel like
I do.
It's like you've learned and you implemented it not all at once. This has been years in the making of you like figuring out your routine, what feels best for you, how you can optimize your day and set yourself up for success so that you don't burn out, or like, so that you don't either one, avoid, right, by like laying in bed and being like, it's all too much, and like analysis paralysis sort of vibe, and that you don't overwhelm yourself. So would you say like that's what you were saying? That
Yeah,
is
because
like,
when you break things down into little tasks and you prioritize the ones that are most important and you have it scheduled into your day, then you don't feel like, okay, so I got to do 48 posts to social media. I got to be consistent with that. I've got to do this. I've got to call the doctor. I've got to, and then you just implode and you do absolutely nothing. And then you cause drama in your life because your bills all go to collections. I'm not speaking from experience.
it's one, when you break it down like that and set yourself up with a schedule and schedule blocking, it's not as hard as your brain makes it out to be. That's what it is. It's like, okay, you know what? I didn't finish. There's one task I didn't get to today. Whatever. It was a lower priority task. That's cool. That's chill. You're able to like see what you have been able to accomplish and like have gratitude for yourself. Because that's another really important thing, is like recognizing the growth, even if you do like you start off really small. Every morning you wake up and you just take like 5 deep breaths. And that's it. Like that's all you have the capacity for right now. That's great. That's a great start. Do that for 5 days. Congratulate yourself that you've consistently done it for 5 days, and consider adding in one more. Consider adding in one more action step that's going to help you set yourself up for success. It could look a bunch of different ways depending on the person, right? So Nikki took, like I said, years to get to the point of organization where you're at. And like now you're fully regimented because you've created habits and discipline. And that takes a little bit of time and grace. And so
it does
like
so much.
Yeah.
Do you think that like maybe in a year I'm going to be a robot basically?
you're just going to be AI for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, I hope not, Queen. I really hope not.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just need a cold plunge tank. And I'm just saying this right now in this moment because Allison is sitting here and she's very against the idea of getting a cold plunge tank.
Why don't you get one? So Allison's against it because she believes that you're not going to use it, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so the other day, I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace because right now I'm having an obsession about getting a camper van, a GMC in particular. It's like a thing about our dad. But anyway, I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace in my general neighborhood, and I came across one of those cold plunge tubs that someone's like, I never once used it. I bought it months ago. I'm selling it. So why don't you look for one that someone bought the thing thinking they were going to use the thing and then never used the thing?
Because the thing is, like, to me, isn't that just like a large Yeti cooler?
No, it's like literally, it's like made out of tarp material. What are you talking about?
But I'm saying like I'm going to be filling it up with ice cubes.
Correct.
I'm not going to do that.
No, I mean, you could genuinely just plunge into
There's like a
the water in your
0%.
backyard.
I could just go into the bay. That
Yeah,
feels
she's
pretty
got
cold.
a bay back there.
Or like take a cold shower. I'm not putting ice cubes in a tub.
Yeah,
like
you do have to like do it yourself. You can't.
That's-
It doesn't
that's-
just like create ice cubes.
No, people want convenience. Like I'm not.
No.
No. So let's talk about another thing because we have before. I'm really good at my segues, aren't I? We have Amplify. We have Amplify next week, which is the thing.
Our in-person Tennessee event.
Yeah, and by the time you guys hear this, you can't come to Amplify. So
How do you
I don't
know? Maybe it'll be uploaded soon.
That could be. Okay, so if it is out before, the
We get
time,
there. Yeah.
before we get there, then you can come.
Yeah, you should come.
And you should.
And you know what? If you're listening to this, should we say a discount code on here or something, like a promo
Why
code?
wouldn't you say it? Of course.
Okay. If you're listening to this, Amplify is on the 21st of October. So if you're listening to this before then, go on Eventbrite, look up Slice Squad Amplify. You'll find it. It's there. And promo code for 50% off is in all caps October 50, 50, no space. So October in all caps 50, no space.
I really appreciate your dedication. I just want to let you know that there are episode descriptions where you can provide links. So we will be we will be doing that.
Nice.
Or you could just go to Eventbrite and be archaic about it. Go to www.eventbrite.com and go into the search bar.
Okay. The link to the event is going to be in the description below. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay.
So we are also, it's going to be so much fun. I think we're going to go, like, we're even going to do karaoke. But more importantly than the karaoke is that Sliced Strands is dropping there, which is mine and Alyssa, who is one of our team members. We partnered up and we created, mostly her, an extension, more of a silent partner, a venture capitalist. No, so with my like efficiency brain and her just expertise in extensions, we came up with a line where it takes like 7 minutes per row hidden bead to install. It's pretty phenomenal, exceptional. I can't even, I'm so excited for it to launch. So we'll be providing more details about like how to use slice strands and stuff like that in the future. But I think it's just going to change the game because we already got the hair color thing and the booking appointments and the consultations and the mindset and the productivity so down. The extensions was the one thing that was like, this is still taking too long because people listen, like I am a high earning individual. I'm busy. I'm a CEO. All these people want these wealthy clients. They say like people that are going to spend money, but then you're taking 7 hours on doing something. The people that have money, they have money. They don't mind spending it. They don't have time. So if you can give them their time back, people are willing to spend anything. Like literally, I'm not going to go sit for 7 hours to get my hair done. But and even if the person was like, I'll do it for 100, but you're going to be here for 7 hours, I wouldn't do it. But if someone said I could do an entire color and install these extensions for you and curl your hair and do the whole nine and give you even some Botox or something in the process, that's not something I offer personally, but I would be over the moon. Same thing with lash extensions. If you told me that you could put them on in 10 minutes and they would stay for like 3 weeks, I would do it. But I can't sit there with my eyes closed for 3 hours. I'm sorry.
Wait, I have to say, I'm pretty sure that they've come out with like efficiency eyelash extensions now, just so you know.
Oh, I'm going to have to Google that for sure.
Yeah.
Let me know. Yeah, because it's not practical and it's not very 2023.
Like, I'm so fidgety. If whoever's watching this on YouTube, like, I have not stopped moving. Like, the thought of having to be there with your eyes closed and getting those one lash at a time put on, no.
I've tried it before. It's not for me.
No.
Same reason I can't get my nails done. Too long. Nope, too long to hold my hands away from me. But a pedicure, I mean, if I could sit there with my laptop, I would get a pedicure all day.
You can. I've done it. Just bring your laptop. They don't care. They're like, Slay, do you like work really hard? I'm like, pretty much, yeah.
But do you ever feel like when you're getting a pedicure and you're like not fully present, that they feel like you're not enjoying it and then they rush through the massage part? Because like I've wanted to stop and be like, listen, I want you to know that I am fully enjoying this and that you could very much continue this, even though my face says that I'm not.
Yeah, no, actually, I do like make sure to show that I'm enjoying the massage. I close my eyes, I like lay back, I get really cozy, I'm like, this is amazing.
Because you think they'll do it longer.
Yeah, and they really do. It's like a collective energy. It's like a thing.
I pay the extra 10 minutes always.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Same. Got to get the luxury pedicure.
Fully spa pedicure, and then like I always pick a flavor. I'm just like,
oh yeah, I want the green.
You could have a regular, you could have a regular spa pedicure that's super regular, or you can have one with lavender, or you can have one with like espresso golden flakes in it. And I'm like golden flakes.
You're like, I'll get the golden flakes, and can you also dip my feet in hot wax? That's my favorite thing.
That's fun too. Yeah. And a hot stone. Sometimes they're so hot though.
I don't like the hot stones. It hurts.
It hurts a little, yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely hurts their hands if it's hurting our legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyway, I feel like we said enough for today. Do you?
I would agree. Yeah, I feel like now we're just going on a tangent.
Now we're just rambling. I hope that you kind of enjoyed it because I'm having a good time. Are you?
I feel like we're chilling. I feel like we're hanging out.
Yeah, but I'm going absolutely berserk not being able to move. So I've got to, my tomato timer went off and it's time to go.
All right. I feel that too. We should maybe talk about before we leave though, like what some of the episodes are going to look like moving forward.
Oh, also we should tell people to subscribe, shouldn't we?
You should like and subscribe and leave a review. It really helps the channel and the podcast, right? And
I think so. I mean, like, I have no agenda with doing this podcast at all.
Oh no, we're
like,
just doing it. It's like something that we felt like doing.
But I'm certain that it would be helpful for you to like it. I mean, just it's the right thing to do.
I agree. If you're enjoying it, then definitely just do those things. And
I just feel like one person is going to be like, yeah, but if I have to listen to Nikki's voice so it's just like, then don't. Like, I have to listen to it I have to listen to it every day, and I'm still doing all right.
Right. Exactly. No, so like and subscribe, come to Amplify if this is posted before then. If not, I guess we'll probably do one big event per year or something. We'll see. Maybe some retreats. Maybe some breathwork retreats.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope that you can be at Amplify and be there for the launch of Slice Strands. There's actually a lot of surprises and really cool things happening at Amplify. And we're stoked. What?
I just was reiterating so many.
So many. So we're super stoked. It's going to be life-changing and amazing. And moving forward, the episodes, we will have guests on them sometimes, probably a lot of the time, right?
I think a lot of the time, not every time, but like a lot.
Yeah, most of the time. And we're going to just offer you lots of value and fun, and that's it.
Straight up, if we're not having a good time, I'm going to quit. So like, I will.
I know. We'll bring on some clients that can talk about, their experience with us and how they're thriving. And
other like business people in the industry, wellness people, boundary queens. I'm just making stuff up at this point. Breathwork babes.
We'll bring them all in. We'll bring them all in.
Meditators, biohackers. I just want it. Your life needs to be better. Like, I want your life to be better. My life used to like not be great. I'm naturally mentally ill. So like the fact that we've made it this far and like we're just going to continue to improve is just absolutely gorgeous. Got to pay that forward, right?
100%. I'm being silly now because I can't do the breath work right away. Now I need a Pomodoro break.
That's 5 minutes of Pomodoro break. Just
okay. All right. That's fine.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.